So our goal today, I can multiply fractions and simplify the answer if needed. Do all fractions need to be renamed, or in other words, simplified? Give me an example of a fraction that does not need to be renamed. It cannot be simplified. Harley? 1/2. Give me the example of a fraction that can be renamed, or in other words, it can be, we call it reduced or simplified. Sylvia? 3/6 can be renamed, simplified, reduced. Okay, so if it can be, we need to make sure that we do. We don't erase our first name for it. We don't say 3/6 is not the answer anymore. We don't erase that. We instead just say, oh, but that is the same as, it also equals 1/2, right? 3/6 can be renamed as 1/2. We don't erase the first name. See, so 2 ways to multiply and simplify. The first way, you just multiply the fractions first, and then after you get the answer, you simplify. Or the second way, you simplify first, and then you multiply. The second way is probably a little friendlier when you're going to have to deal with very bigger numbers. Okay, when you're going to have to deal with bigger numbers. But we're going to practice both ways. So the first one we're going to practice is 1/4 times 4/5. Okay, what does that mean again? 1/4 times 4/5. What does that mean again? 1/4 times 4/5. Charlie? 1/4 what? Of 4/5, right? How much is 1/4 of 4/5? Anybody think they know the answer right now? Trying to visualize what's 1/4 of 4/5? Anybody think they know what that might be? 1/4 of 4/5. Harley? 4/20. Okay, 4/20 is 4/20. Can that be renamed? What can 4/20 be renamed as? Okay? 1/5. So 1/4 of 4/5 is a 1/5. Does that make sense? So let's see if it works when we do our do what we call the algorithm way, that's just the not having the picture, the area model. So the first way, remember the first way is multiply first and then simplify. So we multiply the numerators. So 1 times 4 upstairs, what is that, class? 4. We multiply the denominators downstairs. 4 times 5? 20. And then we ask ourselves, can 4/20 be renamed? Can it be simplified? How do we simplify 4/20? What can be divided into both 4 and 20? Well, they're both even numbers, so for sure what can be? 2. Do you think there's anything bigger than 2? What do you think, Harley? 4? Class, do you think we could take 4 into both of those? Okay, so we would say 4 divided by 4. If we do that upstairs, we have to do it downstairs. So 4 divided by 4, what is that? 1. And 20 divided by 4, what is that? 5. There are 5 4s in 20. Ooh, the answer is 1/5. The answer is 4/20, renamed as 1/5. So that's the first way. Multiply first and then simplify. The second way is simplify first and then multiply. So when we say simplify, I'm not talking about can 1/4 be simplified, because can 1/4 be simplified? No. How about 4/5? Can it be simplified? Is there something that goes into 4 that also goes into 5 that we'd be able to divide it out and it would change its name? No. So we can't simplify the fractions 1/4 or 4/5, so that's not what I mean. I mean, can we divide something out of upstairs that can also be divided out of downstairs before we do our multiplying? So is there something that can be divided out of one of those numbers upstairs that could also be divided out of one of those numbers downstairs? What is it? What is it, class? Isn't there a 4 that can be divided out of both floors? Let's do it. 1 over 4 times 4 over 5. Kind of spread them out and give yourself some room there. We can divide this 4 upstairs by 4. If we do 1 upstairs, we got to find 1 downstairs that we can do it with. Well, we can just so happen to do it with that 4 downstairs. So we did it once up, we did it once down, life is still good. Well, what is 4 divided by 4? Just put a nice light line through that and put a 1. What is 4 divided by 4? Still 1. Don't cross it out so much you can't read what you had there. Can we do any other dividing out upstairs that can also be divided out downstairs? Okay, so now we're ready to multiply across, just like we did when we multiplied first. So 1 times 1 upstairs, what is that? 1. 1 times 5 downstairs, what's that? 5. There, we got the same answer, didn't we? Same answer. Let's just put this, same answer. I don't want to think that we got 2 different answers. There were 2 answers to the same problem. It's the same answer, just 2 different ways to go about getting it. So which one do you like better? First one? All in favor of the first one? Are you all in favor of the second one? Yeah, you get to pick. You get to choose. You get to choose. Okay, so remember we said this already. Reminder, 1/4 times 4/5 means 1/4 of 4/5. 1/4 of 4/5. So does that seem reasonable? 1/4 of 4/5. Seem reasonable? Is 1/4 a pretty small part? Yeah. And is 4/5 less than a whole? But yeah, you know, so it's a pretty big part of a whole, but it didn't quite make it to a whole. So a small part of a not quite a whole should be an even smaller part, 1/5. Does that make sense? So we're going to say yes, it does seem reasonable. Here's kind of what I like to do it. I do this a little bit different than we learned the other day. This is 4/5, isn't it? Right here. Is that 4/5? Okay, let's watch. Look at what here. These are all fifths, remember? So we want 1/4 of 4/5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want one of those. We want one of those 1/5. 1/4 of 4/5. That's just another way to look at it also. So our answer seems reasonable. Okay, no questions? Before we go try some more? Where's my thing? Okay, then let's go to the back side. I believe we need to go to the back, don't we? Okay, more practice it says back here. 3/4, excuse me, not ninths, times 1/9. 3/4 of 1/9. Wow, does that seem like that should be a pretty big portion or a pretty small portion? 3/4 of 1/9. 1/9, a very big portion. You get 1/9 of a pizza. If you get very much, no. But even after that, then somebody comes along and says, well, now you only get 3/4 of that one piece that you have, that 1/9. You only get 3/4 of that. So is this going to be a pretty small number? What do you think? Should be, shouldn't it be a pretty small portion? Okay, first way. What do we do in the first way again? What do we do in the first way? Some of you like the first way. What do we do? Multiply first and then simplify. Okay, so we multiply across. 3 times 1 is? 3. 4 times 9 is? Oh, might need your multiplication grid, huh? 36. So we get some pretty big numbers that way, don't we? Okay. Now, if we're going to simplify that, do we have to? Oh, okay. Why? Wait. Yeah, so I bet you 36 is in the multiples list for 3, right? Oh, so 3 goes into 36? Okay, so we'd say, well, then we can divide. 3 can be divided by 3, and 36 can be divided by 3. Whatever you do up, you got to do down. How many times does 3 go into itself? Once. Anybody know how many 3's you can take out of 36? Cheyenne? 12. Okay. So instead of getting 1/9 of the pizza, you're going to get 1/12 of the pizza. Remember we said your piece of pizza should get smaller. If you're only going to get 3/4 of 1/9 of the pizza, it's going to get smaller yet. Now you're going to get 1/12 of the pizza. So here is our answer. Okay, those of you who like the second way, what do we do first? When you're doing the second way? simplify first. Okay, well then, so we write our fractions and kind of spread them apart. What can be divided out of one of those numbers upstairs that can also be divided out downstairs, Danny? 3. So 3 can be divided by 3. Which of those numbers downstairs can be divided by 3? The 9, yeah. So we divide up, we divide down, doesn't matter, as long as you do it both places, both floors. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And now we say, can there anything else you could divide out of upstairs that could be divided downstairs also? No? Okay, now we'll multiply across. 1 times 1 upstairs is 1. 4 times 3 down is 12. Why, looky there, we got the same answer. Has anyone changed their mind to go to the other way now? Those of you who like the first way, are you starting to think, well, maybe I like the second way better now? I didn't get such big numbers. Not ready to change. Questions? Okay, I want you to try this last one on your own. You do the first way or the second way. You get to pick. I'm going to do it both ways while you're working. And we're going to see if we all get the same answer to this. Can you do it both ways? Absolutely. Go for it. If you did not do it both ways, now I want you to do the other way. If you did not do it both ways, try the other way now. You did it the way you like it first. And in the homework, you only have to do it one way, but in these notes, I want us to do both ways just to get to see what happens. So what happens sometimes when we're simplifying? Do we always right away get just by doing one division, do we always get right to the answer we're supposed to get to? How many of you did it the second way the first time you did it? Okay, just Danny. Everybody else like the first way this time? Sylvia? What happened, you guys, when you did the second way? Remember, we simplified first. Did you get to simplify by just dividing by one number, both up and down? What'd you have to do? You had to do it with 2 different numbers, didn't you? Yeah. So 2 if we could divide up and down by 2, and we could divide up and down by 3. So there were 2 division problems going on to help us simplify and before we multiply. Now, if you don't catch both of them, let's say you don't catch both of them, then your answer that you get over here, you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, wait a minute, 3/6, that can be simplified, that could be 1/2, and you're going to have to finish the problem. You're going to have to do the simplifying. So if you don't catch all of the simplifying in the beginning, in the second way, you might have to catch it at the end. Same thing happens up here. Same thing happens up here. If you don't catch that both of them are divisible by 6 right away, I need you tuned in here. If you don't catch that both of them are divisible by 6 right away, instead you say, oh, they're both even numbers, so they're divisible by 2, and then that gets you 3/6. Can you quit yet? No, because 3/6 can now be simplified by dividing both up and down by 3, and you get the 1/2. So sometimes we may have to work extra to make sure we do have the most simplified answer that there is, the most, as we call it, reduced, right? Anybody have any questions about that? I want us to try and make sense of this problem right here. So we have this, this pie cut into four pieces. 3/4 of it's been shaded because this problem really says 2/3 of 3/4. So I have shaded 3/4 of this circle. Do you agree with me? Have I shaded 3/4 of it? Well, we're supposed to figure out what 2/3 of it is. So what part of the whole circle are 2 of the 3 shaded parts? So we need 2 of the shaded part, 2 of those 3. Well, wouldn't that be like these guys right here? And what part of the circle is now shaded? Double shaded. What part of it is double shaded? What part of the whole circle, right there, what part of the whole circle is now shaded? You got it for me, Hannah? Got it for me, Tyler? Okay, got it for me, Harley? What is it? 2/4 or 1/2. Half of the whole circle, the top half, is now shaded, the answer that we got. So again, you have to still keep trying to make sense of why do we get the answers we get. You know what? Answers in math mean nothing. Nothing at all if we can't make sense of them. If you're just going to get answers to get answers, you're going to fail at this little business called math. You need to make sure that you're making sense of your answers. You're not just happy to get them. Okay? You don't want to just be happy to get them. So any questions at all on multiplying fractions?